there, welcome back to Creatively Crafted Life. My name is Melanie and welcome to Christmas in July, where hopefully this month I will manage to get some Christmas projects finished. At least that's the intent. And one of the Christmas projects that I'm hoping to work on is my December daily or document December project from last December. So I actually took photos, didn't get the project done, and I have in my stash this kit, and it is mostly, I think, Cardabella's collection Letters to Santa, and it was intended to be part of a class that I took from SCT, but the project that was made using this didn't really fit with how I document December, so I opted not to follow the instructions, and instead we're going to use it for this project now. It came with these alphas, and it also came with these Carpe Diem Traveler Notebook inserts. I love the idea of these. I think they're super cute. I don't love scrapbooking in them because I am a very bulky scrapbooker and these don't lend themselves to that. So my challenge is to keep this very simple and ideally, possibly, maybe limit my supplies to just what's in the kit. Don't go and pull anything else. I don't know if I'll be successful or not, but we'll see. These inserts are 24 pages. So if you did 1 page per leading up to Christmas, you would be short. And I'm actually going to document all the way through 31, so December 31st. So I am going to use 2 of these, which is actually going to probably give me too many pages. So I need to do some preliminary planning, and so what I'll be doing is removing some of the pages inside just to give myself a little bit more room, and it should be pretty easy because they are just stapled in. So I think that's the plan. I need to go and print some photos. And before I do that, I need to kind of have an idea as to how I am going to lay this out. So in general, I have 1 photo per day. There are a couple days where I have a few photos, so I have a couple options. I can either allot more pages, or I can do some sort of collage to keep it within the allotted 2-page spread. And by 2-page spread is what I'm thinking, is that this will represent 1 day, right? And then this would be the next day, with the exception of Christmas Day itself, because I know I have quite a few more photos for that, and I think that's okay to allot a few more days. I'm also wanting to keep this very simple, so if possible, I would like to keep the layout the same. And so what I mean by that is I am thinking of printing a large photo the size of this page, which is running at just shy of 5 by 8 1/4. So I will probably print this out at 5 by 8 and probably 8 1/2 so that I can trim it to size. So I'm thinking a photo on one side, pattern paper on the other, with a little bit of journaling, either a tag or a Project Life card, and then just a few simple embellishments, and that is it. I will have a front sheet that is going to be some sort of introduction or cover, and I think the last page typically is December 31st, which I usually don't have a lot to say, and I like to include some sort of closing photo, like a sunset photo or something like that. And I think I do have one this year, so that's probably what I will do with that. So that is the plan, but I think I need to print out those photos first before I go any further. Okay, I have all my photos printed out. I ended up printing them out at 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 because that's basically half of an 8 1/2 by 11 sheet of paper. So it just worked out that way. Almost all of them are the same size, but I do have a few half sizes just because I only had the picture in horizontal and it didn't work to trim them. So I do have a few of those, which I'm okay with. And I did do some collaging on some of them, like this one or like this. Whether they stay this way or not, I'm not sure yet. I might split these out when I get, or I might cut them up when I get to them. We'll see how that all plays out. I was thinking about this a little bit more, and I think I am going to actually take the staples out and do all the layouts flat just on the papers, and then we'll assemble them back together afterwards. I think that'll make it easier for trimming and aligning the papers. At least that's what I hope so. My plan is, I think, to treat this like a traveler's notebook. I don't think I have any covers that are for this size. The ones I have are for the narrower ones, so I'll probably have to make a cover as well. But you know, that's all part of the crafty fun, isn't it? So next step, what I'm going to do is cut out the cardstock for the matching side. Now this kit is a standard kit that comes with 12 by 12 papers, I believe. Yeah, 12 by 12. So I know I will be able to get 2 full out of each. So that's 24. And I will need probably, well, no, I might be okay. I might not need 26. It's going to be really close. But if it doesn't work out, I'll use offcuts to fill in where I need to. And I suspect the cover's probably going to be using offcuts. Okay, so that's the next step. Cut out the paper. I'll probably do the same 5.5 by 8.5, just so that I can align it to the paper nice and neat. Okay, I am so glad I took them apart, because this is one of the things I don't like about them, is that when you, again, any sort of dimension and it starts to bulge. Now this part doesn't bother me too much. I could trim this to size, but because of the way I blew up the pictures, I would start to lose some of the integrity of the pictures. So I think I'm okay just leaving it as is. When I make the cover, which I think is what I'm going to do, I will just make sure it extends beyond this, or like add some trim or something. Okay, so everything is glued down. It is in the 2 books. So the first book, I still have to do this front cover sheet, and it's basically looking like this. And as you can see, it's very repetitive. And if I haven't mentioned this before, this is what I do if I just want to get a project done, and I'm not feeling particularly creative, is I will just kind of come up with a layout or scheme and make it work. Okay, so this one I ended on a single photo. I've got lots of space down here for journaling, so I'm okay with that. Plus, on this side, I can also do journaling if I needed to. This is the second book. I was hoping not to leave this page, but it didn't work out that way. So I will probably just decorate it with some paper and maybe a Procula card or something like that. Okay, so this is how all of the photos, etc. have been laid out. I do have some ephemera, and I'm not sure if I'm going to incorporate that or not, so I have to think about that. So the next step is to think about the ephemera pieces, and also how I want to decorate these. Okay, so I've gone through and I've divvied up any cards that I thought I want to use on the different pieces. Sometimes I had stickers that I added. I did that already. And so what I want to do next is allocate numbers, and I've got a bin full of different numbers here, so hopefully I can I have enough to make this work. And I also pulled out from my December Daily kit just some words to help embellish, and then the other thing I need to do is journaling. So I'm going to do all of that and then assemble those and come back and show you the completed insides. Okay, so I think the books are pretty much finished. As you can see, there is quite a bit of extension. I could, in theory, try and cut these all down to size, but I think I'm just going to leave them as is. I am going to create a cover for them, and when I create the cover, it will have an elastic binding that goes around here to hold this in place, and this one will be on top. Even though I tried to keep them even, you know, splitting the number of days, it seems that this one ended up being a little bit bulkier. For this month, I don't think I'm going to get to creating the covers. I just am running out of time and I need to get onto some other projects. So I'll share with you how these turned out and then we'll go from there. So this is the front book. I added this Dollar Tree snowflake, layered snowflake with the date on it. And I do still need to write my reason why on this front page yet, so that is something that still has to come. And then it was just a matter of adding the embellishments and a little bit of journaling. I didn't write a lot, just enough to tell the story for the day. I kept the embellishments very, very flat, which is very unusual for me. But you know, it is what it is. And it's really quite a simple book. And that's okay. I don't think it always has to be over the top. So I think I used up the whole sticker sheet pretty much, and I have a few little scraps left. I'll show you those scraps in a minute. For the numbering, I used these acetate numbers as well as these red foiled numbers. And it was basically whatever I had that worked number-wise is how they ended up. Is how they ended up in the book. So sometimes I have two of them together, and other times it's alternating. So I am very glad to have this project done. And, well, I'm calling it done, even though I still have to make the cover. For all intents and purposes, the hard part's done. That's just fun, additional fun. Oh, this was an envelope that I had received with cards, and I thought it was quite pretty. So I did use it as a way to tuck in my journaling and added some more stickers. This one I didn't even have any journaling. It's just a picture of me, and I think that's okay. So that is my 2022 December Daily or Document December book. So before I sign off, I wanted to share with you how many scraps I have left. I don't have a ton, as you can see. I do think that when I make that cover, I will need some papers to decorate the inside of it. I don't think I have enough to do inside and outside, and I'm thinking of using fabric. So I'm just going to stick this in a bag along with the journals, and it's going to go back in the pile as projects to be finished until I get around to doing that, hopefully in the next month or so. I hope this kind of approach inspires you to maybe tackle a project you have put on the back burner. Keep it simple, come up with a formula, and get it done. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and until next time, happy crafting.